Well, let's speak now to Jennifer Powers, who's the founder of the Unplugged Coalition. Jennifer, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us on Britain's Newsroom. Now, there's been growing consensus in the last couple of years, Jennifer, that social media is really bad for children and it's robbing them of all sorts of childhood experiences, as well as presenting some specific dangers like being contacted by strangers. But lots of people saying this morning that while this ban might be well-intentioned, it just won't work. What do you say to that?
Good morning, Miriam. Good morning, Andrew. This is a victory for childhood. I couldn't be more pleased. And to those who criticize and say it won't work, I say, listen, if it keeps half of the children off social media half of the time, that is a massive win. Of course, it's not going to be perfect. There are children that will try to get around any bans, just like with, the speed limit. There are people who speed and receive tickets, and it doesn't mean that we get rid of all the speed limits. So I'm really hopeful that this will be an important first step. I think this is a watershed for children and families in this country, and I'm absolutely delighted that the Prime Minister has changed his mind on this and brought in, or at least announced, his intention that the government will bring in restrictions for platforms to no longer be able to access and harm our kids.
To iron out some of the flaws, the problems that we've seen in Australia, Jennifer, for instance, I know a lot of the kids there are getting new accounts with fake birth dates. Does the government need to work with the social media giants to make sure this is as watertight as possible?
Yes, you make an excellent point, because some of the problems we've seen in Australia is because the tech platforms have not been sufficiently held to account. They've been lax in terms of their checks. They have allowed many children under 16 to either create or stay on their social media accounts on these addictive by design platforms. And what we want to see here in Britain is we want to see really robust age assurance mechanisms, so that, yes, of course, one or two children may get around it, a few may get around it, but the vast majority of children are protected most of the time. So this will mean the government needs to hold the line and needs to not cave in to the lobbying of the tech platforms, who will, of course, want to water down the strength and effectiveness of those checks, because this is the attention economy. They make money by having eyeballs on the internet. They don't want to lose children and teens from their platforms. So it's in their interest to make those age assurance checks as flimsy as possible. So this will mean the government has to be really on top of them and make sure that they are doing what we know they can do. They know so much about us. They are so technically adept at building these platforms and keeping us attuned. It's absolute nonsense that they can't keep children off if they wanted to. So the sanctions need to be really tight as well, really strong, so that if they are found wanting, that they're hitting the pocketbook.
Jennifer Powers, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Jennifer is the founder of the Unplugged Coalition.